Hello everyone, it's Jimmy here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do a unboxing and first impression of 3 Chinese Leica replica lenses. Now, all this Leica replica affair started several years ago when Light Lens Lab released their first product, the 8 Element, and it was a huge success. It earned its reputation through that lens, and it's now, I would say, a much more established player in the lens making landscape. Well, these 3 lens makers in China are relatively unknown, and I bet you if you're a Western viewer, you probably haven't heard any of these. So to my left, we first have the Mandler 35 f2 Summicron, which is a replica of the original 7 element, or the version 4 of the Leica 35mm Summicron. And to its left, we have the Peace Lens 35 f1.4 Summlux replica, and it's actually a steel rim replica. And to its left, we have the Artist Lab 35mm f1.4, again Summlux replica, but this one is the version 2 Summlux replica. And also, judging from the photos I've seen online and their lens designs, it's more of an attempt to mimic the housing or design of the lens body or the lens barrel rather than the actual optical formula. So yeah, let's first start with the one that's closest to me, the Mandler 7 element, and go from there. And I'm just gonna share with you my honest first impression of these lenses, mostly build and handling, because if you're into these, like a classic lens replicas, you're probably also very interested in the build quality and fit and finish of each of these lenses. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And then you can leave your comments down below and pick your favorite lens for me to review in the next video. All right, so let's get started. So I will say the Mandler here has the best packaging of all 3. It's the most fancy one. First, you're greeted with this lens hood, and then it's got a lens container, not unlike the Leica 50mm f1.2 Noctilux remake. And then down here, we actually have, looks like another lens hood. Let's see. And also lens caps. So this is really interesting. The lens actually comes with 2 different designs of lens hood for you to pick and choose from. That's really good. And now let's take a look at the lens itself. It's got a metal lens cap, and then the lens is indeed very light and small. Let's first try the aperture in here. It's quite okay. I mean, it's not the best. It's got this, sort of light and plasticky feel to it. And more importantly, how about the focus ring? Surprisingly, it's very, very smooth. Wow, I'm very impressed. I would say it's as smooth as the original Leica 7 element, and certainly smoother than some of the Light Lens Lab and even Voigtlander offerings. This is not what I have expected. And if we take a look at the lens barrel here, it's got E39, which is the thread size, and then Mandler, which is the brand of the lens, and 35-2. And also, it's the 231st of the total 999 lenses made. And the red dot is exactly the same as the one on Leica. Overall, I really like the build quality of the lens, and I'm really looking forward to see how it actually performs against the Leica 7 element. All right, let's get to the next lens. Okay, so the next lens here is the Peace Lens 35 f1.4. It's got a lot of packaging here. I guess this is the filter. Let's first take a look. Yeah, it's a silver, very pretty silver filter. And then let's take a look at the lens hood. Oh wow, it's exactly the same as the original Leica steel rim lens hood, the Olux hood. It looks really good. And the lens itself, it also comes in a lens container, which is really fancy. It's got also a metal lens cap with 2 Chinese characters, that means peace. And then the lens. Well, at first glance, it looks exactly like the original Leica Summlux steel rim. And also, I believe this is a E41 thread rather than the E43, which Leica used for their remake of this lens. And the way the lens hood attaches to the lens body is supposed to be exactly the same as the original. Here you go. It's really, really sturdy. And with the hood on, you can still operate the lens normally with the aperture ring here. The aperture ring feels quite nice actually. And there's no play at all. Certainly better than Leica's own remake of the steel rim. How about the focus ring? It's good, but it's not quite as smooth as the mandrel that we've just tried. And let's hear the click of the infinity lock here. Oh, very satisfying. Very good. And it feels like the lens is made out of brass because it's quite hefty. And just by looking at the lens barrel here, the fit and finish is quite good. It's almost indistinguishable from the Leica lens, at least from a first glance here. Overall, I'm quite impressed with this lens steel rim remake. At least from a fit and finish perspective, it's as good, if not better, than Leica's own remake lens. Well, that's not what I expected. Okay, let's move on to the next lens. Alright, last but not the least, we have the Artist Lab 35 f1.4 here. It's distributed by Funlander. You probably have heard of this lens before on sites like Leica Rumors, and also quite a few people have already reviewed this lens online. Yeah, let's first take a look at the lens here. It also comes with a lens hood, which looks exactly the same as the original Leica Summlux lens hood. And also here is a UV filter, which has no branding, it just says Series 7. From a packaging standpoint, this lens is certainly not the most fancy one, but that's not what we care about, right? What we care about more is certainly the handling and build quality of this lens. Now, this lens also comes with a metal lens cap. Just by looking at it, it's very similar to the mandrel lens that we've just handled. And on the lens barrel here, the engravings are very minimal. There is lens made in China. There's no paint job on it. And it says Artist Lab 35 f1.4 for Leica M. Classic. And here is the serial number. Okay, let's first try the aperture ring. Oh, it's got a very satisfying clicky sound. I would say the aperture ring is very well dampened, very clicky. It's the best of these 3 lenses. What about the focus ring here? It's a little bit tight, but it's very smooth. It's not as smooth as the mandrel lens that we've just tried, but there's no complaints here. It's just a little bit tight. And what I found interesting is it is actually what we call the intermediate version between the steel rim and the version 2 Summlux, where it's got the version 2 look, but it's also got the infinity lock from the steel rim. So that's quite an interesting design choice they've made here. And to be honest, I would rather they don't have this infinity lock, because for most of these modern lenses, there's really no point of having an infinity lock other than messing up with your focus when you're trying to focus near infinity. So yeah, not a big fan of the infinity lock, but otherwise this lens is really, really well built. And I would say all these 3 lenses have amazing build quality. I'm really surprised by the quality of these replica lenses from Chinese manufacturers. It looks like they have really catched up with more established players like Voigtlander or Zeiss at first glance, and just playing around with them, it's really undistinguishable to the original Leica lenses. And I think if you can overlook the branding, obviously, of the lens, at least from a mechanical and handling, build it fit and finish standpoint, you wouldn't be disappointed with any of these lenses. I can assure you that. Now, like I said, today it's just gonna be my first impression of these three lenses. So far, it's been quite positive, and each of these lenses, I think, offers a very interesting value proposition. They are all priced within a reasonable price range, at least in China, compared to some of the offerings from Leica or Voigtlander, but they give you the same kind of feel you can get when you're operating an original Leica lens, and that in itself is a very impressive feat already. Now, please leave your comments down below and let me know which of these three lenses you're most interested in, and I will review each of these lenses, comparing them to the Leica counterparts based on your preferences and which lens you want to see. Alright, so yeah, it's just a simple unboxing and first impression videos today, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.